Hey, what's up ladies and gentle-tubers? It is Tyler from the eveRide channel, and today we're kicking off the 2015 Jeff Emig ride by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. So to start things off, I've got some bad news and some good news. The bad news is that on day one, the shot from my rear camera was often marred by carrying my drone on my back, so I've got a lot of shots like this that vaguely remind me of Star Fox.
Do a barrel roll!
The good news is that I used the same rear camera to attach to the drone and got shots like this. Same bad news, however, goes for the front camera. I botched the settings, and unfortunately, what you see here is not even DVD quality because the settings were set to record in only 480p without the steady shot on. On the upside, while it might have only grabbed 480p, it was recording in 240 frames per second, so the slow motion looks like this. So please overlook the camera mishaps on this first day. I definitely sorted things out to capture the rest of the trip, and it looks amazing. So now on to the adventure. My new friend Jesse, who's also known as GeoMoto, and who leads the Flying Monkey Adventure Rally down here in St. George, Utah, which I'll tell you more about in a later video. We both traveled to Moab on Sunday, then stayed at the Lazy Lizard Hostel that night, and surprisingly were not murdered. We met an awesome traveler from Berlin with an awesome name, Wolfram, and he had shipped his Honda Transalp to the States and was touring the entire country. And happy to meet a fellow adventurer and hear his stories and international perspective on the United States, which, by the way, he thought that Utah was the best. We took him to dinner, then retired back to the hostel and dozed off to the smell of lots and lots of weed right outside our bedroom window. So let me just say, using the community toilet at a hostel at 4 o'clock a.m. was officially the start of my adventure. I didn't feel that it was really appropriate to record, but there were all kinds of grunting and some just absolutely shameless body noise going on in that hostel bathroom that night. Not unlike my terrifying experience camping on the West Coast Adventure Tour. So anyway, finally the sun rose on a fresh Monday, but the official meetup with Jeff Emig and the Rocky Mountain crew wouldn't happen until that evening. So my friend Jesse and I decided to start things off with a trip around SlickRock Trail in Moab, Utah on my DRZ 400 and on his KLR 650. All right, here we go. So we're doing the SlickRock Trail KLR 650, DRZ 400. We've got the Jeff Emig's KLR 650 from last year's Emig ride from Rocky Mountain ATV MC. That bike is sick. I don't know all the upgrades that are on it, but we got Jesse riding the bike. He is an excellent rider. So he's got this KLR thing down. So yeah, I'm amped. We're gonna have tons of fun. Hope you guys enjoy SlickRock Trail, DRZ 400 versus KLR 650. And like many city trails near Moab, SlickRock Trail, unlike the name implies, is actually extremely grippy. It's a red Martian landscape of sandstone waves dotted sparsely with small sandy washes and potholes, with the occasional scrubby desert trees and bushes, very few big enough to offer any shade. SlickRock is a paradise for two-wheeled vehicles and originally started as a dirt bike trail in the 70s. Now, nearly every time that I've been there, mountain bikers have told me that dirt bikes are not allowed on the trail. You're sure to get this too when you go. So, at the entrance to the park where you pay your tiny little $2 fee to ride some of the world's most amazing terrain, make sure to grab a trail map not only to see the routes through the cliffs and canyons, but also to show the mountain bikers in writing from the official trail map documents that dirt bikes are allowed on SlickRock. And they're allowed on Hell's Revenge and Fins and Things and most of the other tracks in this area. So while this is basically a big, markless, vast sea of sandstone, the trail at SlickRock is very easy to follow because the entire trail is aligned with these little white markers, which you want to stay on. Now, while you want to stay on the trail anyway to protect the landscape, this is not so much an environmental concern as it is a safety concern. Venture away from the white marks and you're sure to find sudden drop-offs and cliffs and impassable obstacles that you just don't want to be out here. A SlickRock is probably best enjoyed on a dedicated dirt bike, but since this is a dual sport channel, skilled riders can handle it on something as large as a KLR, a DR, or even a KTM 990 will probably handle it with ease. Any non-KTM machine bigger than this might struggle quite a bit. The DRZ was a great bike on this trail, and smaller dual sports would have been even better. Whatever you ride, make sure it's got a skid plate. Ooh! A SlickRock looks nearly impossible to the new rider with its extremely off-camber bits, 45-degree hill climbs, and the crux of the trail which features a switchback in the middle of a steep hill climb. That wouldn't be a problem, but the switchback follows the grade of the hill. Many bigger bikes opt to walk the bike in this area because dropping it means a 45-foot rock slide into a sandy gully. And whether you're over or under the bike is up to you, but being under the bike, it's not going to be pleasant.
Just got to remember there's tons and tons of grip right here. So as long as you keep your weight over the bike, you can be super off camber and never worry. Let's do it, Jesse. Oh man. Alright, we're gonna see if we can do the turn here. Whew. That's just a pucker factor right there.
Now, despite the off-camber riding and the large jutting rocks and the steep ascents and descents in the sand, SlickRock is still a fairly easy trail because of the outstanding traction of the sandstone. It's like sandpaper, and just about any tire will grip. So when thinking about tires on SlickRock, be sure to account for just a few sandy sections, totaling about 100 feet through the entire trail. On the sandstone surface, though, you can climb just about any grade on any tire, but just remember to keep the weight forward or you may loop the bike back. Like many of the other local Moab trails, SlickRock is a trail more about the mind than the trail. Your bike can and will do everything on that trail with ease. It's just a matter of believing the tires will actually stick to the cambers and the climbs. But that and, a little bit of ground clearance and a skid plate doesn't hurt on the bigger bikes either.
Well, ladies and gentle tubers, that was the SlickRock Trail in Moab, Utah. Handled easily by a KLR 650 and a DRZ 400. Our pace wasn't anything blistering, but we had tons of fun. I'm confident that just about anybody can make this trail. It's deceivingly grippy. It'll teach you balance, it'll teach you control, and it'll give you a lot of faith in the grip of your bike on off-camber stuff and lots of off-camber practice. So if you have the means and can make it out, I highly recommend coming out. Bring your KLR, DR650, don't be afraid. Get out here to Moab, Utah, and enjoy SlickRock.
The final note about SlickRock is that it's really hot during the summer. Jesse and I wanted to stick around and film some more, but the heat made short work of our 2 liters of water each, and after stopping in what seemed to be the only shade on the trail for a moment to drink the last of our water, we decided to just ride without stopping and get back to town. It's not a long trail by any stretch of the imagination, perhaps 14 miles total if you include the practice loop, which you should. In milder weather, SlickRock could probably be done quite quickly. However, don't forget to slow down once in a while during the technical stuff and take in the amazing views. You may want to ride it once to enjoy the scenery and get used to the terrain, then ride it again to see how quickly you can do it. And even then, it'd only take an afternoon. However, Moab just offers so many other great trails, you probably don't want to do it twice just because there's so many other things to see. Now, after a long stop at a Moab gas station to cool off and drink a ton of liquids and chat with the clerk, Jesse and I hit Potash Road, located just west of Moab, over the river a short distance on the 191.
All right, guys, so here's what turns into Sand Flats Road. It's Mill Creek Drive. This is where you want to be in Moab. Mill Creek Drive goes to SlickRock Bike Trail. You go up here, stop at Dave's Corner Market. The lady in there was super cool, just let us hang out, drink lots of water. So we're ready to go to Potash Road, and I'm stoked.
So make you wear my helmet too. Then after
yeah, and it's the moist hot helmet.
Oh,
it's like it's
so gross.
You know what it's like putting your head into. It's the worst.
Back in the womb.
Yeah, dude, it's like
Potash Road, or the 279, eventually leads into Canyonlands National Park and winds its way along the Colorado River to the Shaffer Switchbacks that are famous for starting the clockwise route of the legendary White Rim Trail. Potash Road starts out going through a magnificent paved canyon lined with cliffs, a few arches, and the Colorado River. Potash Road will be my route to take whenever I go to the White Rim Trail. It's beautiful, it's easy, it's right outside of Moab, and it bypasses a lot of slab. The road joins with the White Rim Trail below the Shaffer Switchbacks, and Musselman Arch is just a short ride away. For shorter range dual sport bikes, this is the route to take. It's like taking the 3-hour highlight tour of the White Rim Trail, which on its own spans 95 miles and takes all day to ride. While the White Rim Trail is definitely more majestic than the Potash Road, that didn't stop Jesse and I from stopping near this cliff at the border of Canyonlands to get the drone out where it's still legal to fly one. So I'll leave you with this very scenic stretch and remind you that the route from the dual sport mecca of St. George, Utah, where I live, to Moab, Utah, where this is filmed, is one of the best paved roads I have ever been on. You'll definitely want to check out the scenery from that adventure on the video to the right. If you're new to the channel, we'd love to have you join us by hitting that big subscribe button. And if you're a longtime ever-rider, go ahead and click the gear by the subscribe button to get email notifications of when we upload the next parts of this beautiful and amazing adventure. So thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentle tubers. Much love. ever-ride out.
In the sky.